The S&P is in the red today by about 0.2%, but not Tesla. Tesla is up 0.7% today, continuing on its upward trajectory. Tesla stock at the time of recording this video is a $256 stock and is now positive on the year. We do have some Tesla stock news that we will go over in this video, and we did get some real estate data today that I will also share with you later on throughout this video. But first, one of the big headlines today is a Bloomberg article that says Tesla's potential best quarter in China raises expectations. And we will know very soon on October 2nd before the market opens. We should be getting delivery numbers for Q3. And it's not just China that is starting to show a lot of strength in recent weeks. Europe last week had a really good week, where 6,300 Tesla sales were reported for the week of September 16th to the 22nd. This was 29.4% higher week over week and the best week of the quarter. The quarter after 12 weeks is 0.5% quarter over quarter and negative 2.6% year over year. Year-to-date sales are 9.9% over last year. Data from only the UK, Norway, Netherlands, Sweden, Denmark, Italy, Spain, Switzerland, Czech Republic, and Iceland is actually represented here. So you do still have some other countries that are still to report, which is going to make these numbers look a little bit better. This article from Yahoo Finance says, quote, "With Tesla possibly looking at its best quarter ever in China, Wall Street analysts are increasing their Q3 delivery estimates. Quote, this China strength comes at a very opportune time for Tesla, helping to offset ongoing weakness in the US and Europe," said Barclays analyst Dan Levy. He now expects deliveries of about 470,000 vehicles in the 3 months ending in September, up from 462,000 previously. It is also being reported that today the first Cybertruck deliveries are taking place in Mexico. And to what we were all starting to question, Elon Musk and Italy's Prime Minister Meloni, there is no romantic relationship, Elon Musk confirms. I mean, if you were not wondering that, apparently a lot of other people were. This New York Times Post, yes, kind of biased, of course, says Elon Musk and Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni have public love-in on sidelines of UNGA. Now, RBC says that Tesla's Q3 delivery is likely to outperform prior forecast. They say Tesla deliveries of new electric vehicles appear to be running slightly stronger than originally thought. Analysts at RBC Capital Markets said in a note emailed Wednesday as they revised their Q3 forecast for the company by 1.3% over their prior projections to around 460,000 units. RBC analysts citing registration data estimate U.S. deliveries grew around 7.6% during Q3 over the prior quarter. Deliveries in China were up nearly 24%, and European deliveries slid 8.6% quarter over quarter. Insurance data from China similarly suggest accelerating sales for the company since June, they said. While sales of Tesla vehicles in the European Union were negatively affected by EU tariffs on Chinese exports, according to the note. RBC analysts reiterated their outperform rating and $224 price target for Tesla shares. Cantor Fitzgerald yesterday reiterated their hold rating for Tesla and $245 price target. As we just read, RBC Capital, Tom Narian reiterates his $224 price target, and Alexander Potter with Piper Sandler 2 days ago now raised his price target from $300 to $310 per share, bringing the average analyst price target to $208.27 with a return potential from here of negative 18%. But I think we're going to see a lot more price target increases following the robotaxi event and following the actual delivery numbers that will get released on October 2nd. I think Wall Street's pretty far behind the ball here in actually recognizing the uptick in Tesla demand that we are seeing in China, and hopefully the uptick in demand, presumably, that we see in the US as well. And this is, of course, as the Fed is now cutting rates and is projected to continue to cut rates to get to a place close to around 3% by the end of 2025, you should start to see estimates go higher for Tesla after they've been falling for the past 2+ years now. We could finally be on the other side of the, downtrending estimates, and maybe estimates actually need to rise from here, and that is going to help propel Tesla stock to even higher prices. With that said, Tesla option activity is having another very big day today. You have seen 83 different trades totaling $32.06 million with a positive order value of 76%. So another just standout day for Tesla option activity. Yesterday was a massive day as well. You had 299 different trades totaling $174 million with a positive order value of 75%. So today is a little bit lower than yesterday, but yesterday was the start of what could be just more option activity in Tesla. Now we'll take a look at what the shorts are doing here in just a moment, but yesterday and the day before, there was a lot of short covering activity. Volume today on the call side's 58.45% calls and 41.55% puts. So more calls than puts being bought today or really traded today. And this is including retail investors as well. This interesting flow sentiment gauge here that we like to look at every day is only looking at hedge fund and institutional option activity. So looking at even retail included, people are positioning bullishly for the upside in Tesla stock, which again, from now until October 10th, as long as we don't have any kind of bad data or really bad data that comes out, I don't think there's much of a downside catalyst for Tesla. I mean, deliveries are going to come in probably better than expected. Okay. Yes, estimates going higher before October 2nd, before the deliveries actually come out, kind of raise the bar a little bit. It makes it a little bit harder for Tesla to impress investors. But nonetheless, I mean, we're probably still going to be impressed with whatever number that we get. And we're coming off of our 50 basis point rate cut, which is still kind of causing a sugar high in markets. Markets are still wanting to go higher, and this is helping to propel Tesla stock higher. And I think from now until the robotaxi event, as long as we don't get any bad data, there's no freak event that happens on the global stage somewhere. I mean, China just started giving essentially stimulus again. There's not much to stop this market in the near term. And once you start to actually get some hype, some momentum around the robotaxi event, which I think will come, heading into October, really the, October 1st through the 10th, you're probably going to get a lot of hype in that area. That's when I do think Tesla stock is going to see more explosive upside. And exactly that, you continue to see short sellers covering on their Tesla short positions, really aligning with the increase in option activity that we have started to see in recent days. You have return shares of 2.06 million, borrowed shares of 1.21 million. That means you're actually seeing about 851,000 shares that are being covered on today. I mean, 2 days ago, it was 5 million. Yesterday, it was about 2 million shares. Today, it's almost 1 million shares. And I do think the next big day Tesla has, you're going to see a lot of shorts starting to cover, especially above 250. Tesla tends to rally anywhere from 270s to the 300s once you get above 250. Tesla usually doesn't stop around 250, right? You tend to see a larger rally after that. And I do think shorts covering could be fuel on the fire to push Tesla stock higher. Now, you do have short interest of free flow at 2.85%, $19.82 billion currently sold short in Tesla stock, totaling 79.29 million shares that are currently sold short. At 10 o'clock in the morning today, we did get new home sales that came in at 0.71 million. We were expecting 0.70 million, so slightly better than expected there. We did get an upwards revision from last month's number, 0.739 million up to 0.751 million. So a little bit more activity in the real estate sector. I think that is a good thing. Okay, now new home sales month over month came in at negative 4.7%. The estimate was negative 5.1%. Last month was revised up or down actually from 10.6% positive down to 10.3% positive. So all in all, not great numbers, but not as bad as what we could have seen. US August median sale price for homes was $420,600. That is minus 4.6% from August of 2023. So a year ago, when the price was $440,900. So home prices are actually starting to come down, which if we see a faster deceleration of home prices, that's going to become a lot more problematic for the broader economy. You know, if housing were to theoretically roll over here, yeah, that is not something that's going to be good for the economy. Most families, large chunk of their net worth is in their home, and when home values go down, people tend to spend less money. Google Trends activity for the Tesla lineup continues to slow down for the Cybertruck, now down from 52 as recently as the first week in September, now down to 42. The Model Y is actually just kind of trending sideways now. It started to look like we were going to see an uptick in search trend activity, and we technically did. The Model Y went from 22 to 23, but that's not much of an uptick. The Model 3 went from 20 to 21, so a little bit of an uptick, but nothing to really write home about. The Model S is now at 9, which is a 1-point downturn, and the Model X is still at 8, which it generally just sits around 8. Sentiment for Tesla stock today is bullish at 65. Yesterday it was bearish at 34. Message volume today is normal at 51. Yesterday it was high at 61. And participation ratio today is high at 55. Tesla continues to run about 4,000 different ads with Google, and Tesla's global inventory numbers continue to fall pretty much across the board. The Model Y has kind of bounced up a little bit by 60 units or so in the last day to 5,500. The Model 3 is continuing to fall to 3,900 vehicles in total global inventories. The Model X down to 3,300, and the Model S is down to 2,300. And as I've said in the past, really inventories, you want to see inventories fall. You don't want to see inventories high. In a perfect world, Tesla would have no inventories. You would see Tesla selling each vehicle that they produce shortly after they produce it, right? That's a perfect world. And the inventory argument has been something that a lot of bears have critiqued Tesla on, to say Tesla's inventories are growing, even though Tesla's inventories are a lot lower than other car companies. It's just something that tends to be critiqued a lot when it comes to Tesla. The 2- and 10-year yield curve inversion is now uninverted 23 basis points. That thing has skyrocketed in recent days. CNN's Fear and Greed Index is sitting at 67, which is on the higher range of greed. Couple more good days and markets are going to be in extreme greed territory. The percent of stocks currently trading above their 50-day moving average is at 59.09%. So you are seeing about 2.22% of all stocks breaking below their 50-day moving average today, but it's still not a terrible day with the S&P that's down around 0.25% at the time of recording this video. You've kind of seen us just stay above 60 for the last couple of days. So this is the first breakdown that you are seeing, but I don't think it's a big deal in the grand scope of things. I still just think the soft landing narrative is just so widespread at this point. And even though we're getting data that suggests we're going into a recession or we're going to have a hard landing, Wall Street just doesn't want to acknowledge that yet. But over the next coming months, we will be forced to reckon with the hard landing or recession. Even if we don't actually get a recession, I do think we're going to get data that starts to look more recessionary. And for markets that are priced for 20% EPS growth next year, which is crazy, that's That's ridiculous, okay? We're not going to come close to that no matter what happens, okay? So markets are mispriced just based on that, but as growth slows down, people are going to get a little bit nervous, and that's when you're going to see larger downside in markets. But we'll talk about that more in the next video. On a technical basis, Tesla stock looks beautiful. We really don't have much resistance here until you're getting up to about that 265 level. There was a point in which we touched that back here in late December of 2023. I think 270 is going to be a larger level of potential resistance, but above that, you got a pretty clear path to the 300s, and I don't think there's anything too strong resistance-wise to really stop Tesla in this setup that we have heading into the Robotaxi event. Like, we haven't even started to get the hype, the FOMO around the Robotaxi event. It's just very hard to see a path where Tesla stock falls from here, unless we do get, you know, just bad news randomly. We sometimes get bad news that sends Tesla stock down a lot. Unless we get something like that, then I think we're looking pretty damn good here over the next couple of weeks. So let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.